Hi, I'm Ellie and I'm one of the speech and language therapists, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about using some visuals. So today is going to be about choice boards, a different kind of choice boards. So you might have already seen Leanne's video, and in that video she's talking about using a conversation diary and hand drawing visuals in that. So this is the same. You don't need to have a printer. If you do have a printer, you can print out images and you can print out photos, but you don't need them. All you need is paper and a pen. So these are good if someone has difficulty with understanding the choices that they're being given, if they've got difficulty actually expressing their choice. So if they maybe can't say their choice or they're not able to sign it, this gives them something to point at so they can show you. And also if they have difficulty with memory, so if they actually can't keep all the choices in their head, this is a permanent reminder for them of what choices are available. And you can also use it to remind them if something's maybe not available, so you're showing them what is available and what isn't available, which can help reduce the frustration if they keep asking for something that they can't have. So I've used Makaton Symbols, and I've used this Makaton book with the core vocabulary, which I got from their website. If you haven't got access to that, that's fine. You can go on the Makaton website and there's actually quite a lot of free downloads, so you can have a look at those for some of the symbols. But if you can't do that, you can also hand draw what you would use to represent that object, because the idea with the symbols is they really look like what they are. So for example, for drink, it looks like a cup with a drink in it. So just think of what would most represent that object. And if you can take the word away and you can guess what it is, then that's a good sign that it represents that object. So some good signs that you might want to use with these, we can just go through those. So we've got some really key words that you might want to use when you're doing a choice board. So we've got more, so it's like a cupped hand, more. Okay. Another sign you might want to use is finished. Okay. Finished. And then we've got stop. So they might be saying they want you to stop, or you might be telling them stop. And go. So you say go. Or you also might want to do yes. So they can do yes or no. No. So that's some key Makaton signs that you could use with a choice board. Okay, you can use a choice board for activities. So it might be choosing an activity that they want to do, choosing a toy that they want to have, the person that they want to do something with, food and drink. So anything where you're offering a choice, you can use these choice boards. Okay, so if I show you an example, this one, which we've already seen, is a really simple one, which has only got 2 choices on. So you can make the board quite simple, or you can make it harder and offer more choices on it depending on their level. Okay. So this one's really simple. It's just got drink and biscuit. So 2 simple choices. Okay, and you might want to, as you're starting out, start out with something very simple like that, where you're offering 2 choices, so as not to overwhelm them and to start helping them understand that this represents it. So you can present it with your drink and with your biscuit so they can see, and then you can point to drink and give them the drink to start to build up that association. If you've already worked with symbols, or you know that they are working with symbols and they do understand them, you might know that they're using them in school, then you might be able to offer some more choices. So on here you can see this one has got 6 symbols. Just hold it up like that. So you've got a puzzle, ball, bricks, book, doll and cars. So that's 6 choices. And you can obviously personalise this, so you'd put on it the things that they've got at home and the things that they like, and underneath you put the word for the thing that they're choosing. So it might be that doll, they might have a specific doll that has a name that you call it, so you'd put the name of the doll under it. So you'd use the words that you're using at home, okay? Or it might be that they've got a book that they really like reading, so you might put the title of the book there. So that's one with 6 choices. Then if you know that they can cope with 6 choices, you might want to add on some more symbols. So on this one we've got 8 choices, but I've also added some key vocabulary at the top. So you can see here we've got yes, no, more and finished. So you can start to try and link these words to the activities. So you could say the TV is finished. So you're backing up that the TV is finished and you're using that visual. And then you can also help them if they have difficulty with saying maybe yes or no. You can be saying, if you've looked at their facial expression or they've maybe pushed something away to say that they don't want it, you can say no, no cooking or no drink. So you can start to teach them those words and support them with those words. So here, got another example. So there's going to be another video about this. This is just one that I did for going on a walk. So you could do something like this. So this one's just maybe having a look at what they can see on their walk rather than choosing, or it might be choosing. They can then say, oh, I want to go and see the cat, or I want to go to the shop. So you can do that, and it might help if you are going out on a walk and you're finding it quite difficult maybe to get them to walk where you want them to walk. Maybe putting on simple pictures of the things that you want them to find on your walk might help. You don't have to do them that size because they're A4, so they're quite big. It might be that you don't need something that big, and that they might be able to cope with something smaller. So this one's much smaller. I haven't put the words on it, but if you have a look at that, you can probably guess what they are. And like I said before, if you can guess what the pictures are, then that shows that it's a good representation. So here we have got an apple, a banana, an orange and a yogurt. So that's one that you might want to use at snack time for offering choices. What's also useful is maybe you might want to cut these out. So you might just want to be having one picture at a time, and you can actually have maybe a box or a bag. You can have finished written on that, and then when that's not available anymore, you can put that in that bag or in that box, in that folder, so you can communicate that it's finished to help support understanding of that. Because maybe when something's run out or we can't have something, that can be quite frustrating. So we're trying to encourage them to then put that in there themselves as well, to say that they've finished. So some top tips just to recap what we've gone through is keep it simple. So draw really simple. It doesn't matter if you can't draw really well, just draw something really simple to represent that item. Use the language that you would use and that you would call that thing at home. So it's linked to what the words that you are using already. So if you have a specific name for something, use that name that that child is used to. Start small, so start with offering a small amount of choices and using a small amount of pictures, and then you can add to that as you know that they are understanding those small pictures. Always speak when you're modelling the vocabulary. You want to show them the vocabulary. If you do know the Makaton signs and that's something that your child benefits from, use the Makaton signs. But again, this is great if you don't know a Makaton sign for something, you can use a picture as well. Use keywords to link to the choices that you're offering. So remember, we had more, finished, yes, no, and stop. So those words are really important, because if we can link that, they might be saying book, but what they might be saying is finished, I don't want to do any more book today, whereas we might then think that they want to do the book. So that might cause frustration. So if you can link those key words, they'll be able to request more things or to say that they don't want something, which is really important to be able to say not just yes, but also no to things that we don't want. So when you're modelling the spoken word as well, don't forget to model actually pointing to the words, because if we want them to point to communicate, so if they don't have the speech there or they don't have the signs, we're going to need them to point. So they need you to model that lots and lots of times, just like when we learn words, we need to hear them lots and lots of times. If we're going to use pointing as a method of communicating, we need to see other people doing it. So make sure you always point when you're using that word as well to show them how to do it. So I hope that you found this video useful. Let us know if you've got any questions, and we'll try to answer those. And let us know if you do make some boards at home. Show us how you're using them and how they're working.